and it reminded me of a story that I experienced with my fishing partner.
Okay.
And I don't know. It was unexplainable what happened. Maybe y'all can shed some insight as to what transpired. But I was practicing, and he was at work, and we had a tournament coming up, and it was like, I don't know, I was up there on like a Thursday, and he called me and he said, "Hey, are you fishing?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Have you caught anything?" I was like, I mean, not really." He said, "Have you seen anything unusual while you were fishing?" I was like, "What do you mean unusual?" And he's like an animal that you wouldn't normally see. And I was like,
Chupacabra.
yeah, I was like, I don't know what you're asking me, dude. And he was like, I don't know. Did you see like a flamingo or like some sort of like like a raccoon? Like, you're not supposed to see raccoons during the day, or they're supposedly like rabbit or something. And I was like, no, I didn't see any weird, unusual animals. And he was like, oh. He's like, I said, why? And he said, I had like this vision. And I was like, what do you mean, like a dream? And he's like, no, it was a vision. And I was like, were you asleep? And he's like, no, I was awake. And he's like, and I can't describe what the animal was, but there was an animal, and that's where we're going to win the tournament.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, that's fucking weird, but
were you
whatever,
fishing
dude.
with Travis?
Yeah,
it sounds like a Travis story.
So
it does.
Oh, it gets good, dude.
Oh,
So,
it's already good.
I already know what happens, dude. I know exactly what happens, but keep going.
Okay.
Travis, I seriously think that you and my fishing partner are kindred spirits.
Yeah.
His name's Jody. You're like the Wisconsin version of him.
Okay.
So we make like, this is on the Warrior River in Alabama, and if anybody knows where the Warrior River is, it is in the middle of nowhere, dude. Like,
right.
It's out there. So we run like 40 miles up the river to go in this creek, and there's this long like channel that you have to idle through, and it's got a bunch of stumps and stuff in it, and it probably takes 30 minutes to idle up in this creek, and then it opens up into like a big lake. So we run all the way up there, and on the ride we're talking, I'm like, do you want to go in this creek? And he's like, yeah, that's where we need to go. I was like, okay. So we peel off and we go in there, and we start idling in, and there's boats, there's like a couple boats in there, and there's this pocket to the right, and he was like, let's go in there. I was like, okay. So we go into this pocket, and it's got a big clay point that comes out, and we go around all these like stumps and stuff, and we come around the point, and there's a log laying into the water. And when we come around the point, there's a white goat standing on top of the log. And I'm talking, dude, we are in the middle of nowhere. And I swear to you, dude, I have never felt any like creepier feeling in my life. Like the hair on my neck stood up, and I was like, are you, like, I'd been in this creek a million times and I'd never seen anything. And there's a white goat standing on the fucking log that we wanted to fish. So Jody gets up on the back of the boat, and he picks up a Balsa B2, and he says,
he does not.
And he says, this is where we win, on his cast. And the goat looks at us and hops off into the woods. Jody cranks down, hooks a 3-pounder. And I was like,
Andy knows him, okay? So I wanted to know about Andy's fake front tooth.
So I got 2 fake lower front teeth, and that was one of my buddies growing up, and we're fishing down the bank. He sets the hook on. He says it's a fish. I hope it's a fish. It probably was a stump.
Can't prove it, can you?
Nope, can't prove it.
So it's got to be a night term.
Huh? No, daytime.
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 All right, I don't see that.
He's on the front deck with me. Yep. So he sets the hook, boom, sinker goes right in my mouth, and it don't hurt. I don't know what's happening. No. And my mom,
It don't hurt because you were knocked unconscious, or
no, it just knocked him out. You just
numb so hard.
You just
it's
don't
numb.
hurt
Knocked
it.
them
But,
clean out,
Yeah,
man.
I got pieces of teeth in my mouth, so I start spitting them out, and smile at him, and he freaks out. I'm talking about freaks out. Now I got my teeth knocked out, and here's my buddy freaking out. Now my mama worked in the dental industry her whole life, so he's rolling around in the Florida boat. Oh, your mama's gonna kill me. Your mama's gonna kill me. Oh, your mama's
I
gonna
can
kill me.
see Pam doing that.
Yeah, so here's the deal now. I got my teeth knocked out, and I'm having to console the Joker that just knocked my teeth out.
because he's about to lose it because he feels so bad.
I'm like, Bucket, dude, you got to get it together now. We got to go, So I had to drive myself back because Bucket's big.
Teeth over your shoulder like
spitting
that.
teeth. We stopped and get some milk. That's what you see on TV. Get you some milk.
Milk when you knock your teeth out.
Yeah, if you don't
Drink
know
it
that.
and put your tooth
No, you
in.
put your
Well,
tooth
they were
in.
having-
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that.
But that's only to save the roots. Mine got like knocked clean off. I learned
if
that.
they're busted in little pieces, milk's no
It
good.
don't work. But we had
so
a
good.
carton of milk full of little old teeth rattles, everything. I thought
Oh,
that-
you put your teeth in the milk.
He's
I
gonna
thought,
do
you,
a teeth
I thought you
graft.
drank the milk to help.
No, it'll save the roots, I think, if you get your tooth. See, you learn something.
I did learn something.
Absorb the calcium. Calcium's good for you.
Milk fixes everything, yeah.
Pretty much the go-to.
Vitamin D milk.
I thought they
Can't be
just
none
super
of that
glue 'em back
2%,
together.
1%.
Super glue them in like a little puzzle.
I
Just
was
put-
hoping so.
well, we can't tell you have two fake teeth if it makes you
That's
feel
right.
better. So
Never have a cavity in them two teeth.
that's
Hey,
a guarantee.
that's the way to
or your
go
money
right there.
back, right?
That's right. Hey, when I go to the dentist, I tell you, skip them two. They good.
Well, that leads me to why I got into it. I drew a kid at Rayburn. Should I say his name or not? I don't know.
Sure, absolutely. It's like live. You can say do anything you want.
What does it rhyme
I don't
with?
even know where he is now, but I'm going to get defamation of character and libel suits. He's probably an attorney somewhere, so I better be careful.
Now you can only get defamation if they can prove any kind of loss came from the accusation. Now you can say what they did to you and be clean. Trust
Here's
me.
what happened. I drew a kid who everybody congratulated me on after I did this, but we got into it because I drew him the first day. I put him on the fish, and he really caught a pretty decent bag. And I caught a decent bag too. But then unfortunately, I drew a guy in the top 10 for the second day. So even though I'm in the top 30, 35, I'm in the top 30 at Rayburn, I got a guy that's in the top 10. So I got to go in his boat. I got to go to his fish, and I can't go to my fish. So this little schmuck, and I've heard you cuss, so I can use bad words here. Prick. This little prick decides to go out, and he knows that I'm not going to be in my boat on my spots, so he goes out and starts milking on day 2. I didn't know this was happening until noon. At noon, the guy that I'm with, who's in the top 10, is falling apart. And he goes, "You're in the top 30, right?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Do you think your fish are going?" Because his fish weren't. Yeah. And we're at Rayburn. I go, "Yeah, let's go to my fish. They should be fine." Well, guess what? We go to my fish, and I'm having to fight every single main lake point down there at the lower part of Rayburn with Todd from the first day. And Todd and I are getting into it, and he won't let me get within earshot of him, but he's basically battling me on my own water, having never been there except for with me the first day. End of the second day, I go there, I confront him. Dewey Kendrick tells me he goes, "You handle it, Byron. I don't have time for it." So I decided to handle it. I decided I was going to handle it. I went and approached Todd, and I said, "Man, I don't know what you were thinking, but you had no right to be on those fish. Those fish I took you there yesterday." And he goes, "Well, Byron, I had a pretty good bag, and I'm going to go back on those fish again tomorrow." And that's when I basically open-handedly gave him a slap on the face. Come on.
Oh, dude, you went French duel on him.
Yes.
Slapped him in the face.
Yes.
Damn.
Yes.
And any self-respecting Texan would have punched him and knocked him in the dirt, but I gave him basically a bitch slap, and I said, "Listen," and I wanted to wake him up. I said, "You had no right to be there." It was a bitch slap. And I gave him a bitch slap, and I said, "You had no right to be there yet today. You should have been there. I took you there yesterday. Don't show your ass up there tomorrow." Well, he figured out now if he gets me disqualified, he could fish the spot the next day. He runs to Dewey Kendrick, and he says, "I just got slapped by Byron Velvick." And so Dewey comes up
Oh,
to me
my
and says,
God.
"You hit Todd."
Not only did you get slapped as a man, but you went and admitted to another man that you got slapped, dude.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Dang, dude.
And they're like, man, only Californians must do the slapping. I really ruined everything. I'm a sand from California.
Now, Byron.
I slapped him. I slapped him in the face.
But Byron, like, I guess on a speed scale of like, you know, you have like a 5-year-old that maybe bites you and you tap him on the cheek, or like a full-handed like WWE type slap to the cheek. Where would you put that slap to Todd's face?
Way more WWE than a.
So you cracked him, all right.
It was a WWE. It was too bad there weren't cameras on it.
Oh man! Shout out to Dewey Kendrick for letting that happen.